Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah, the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. Tonight is Monday, November 2nd, 2020. This is episode 565 of The Daily Dope. If this is the first time you're joining me, thank you very much for kind of kicking back and hanging out. It's a very, very casual show, just talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. It is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Of course, if you are a longtime viewer or if you hang out with us all the time, thank you very much for returning once again to put up with my pointless pontifications. So anyway, do want to mention that if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel yet. And of course, if you do subscribe, don't forget to ring that notification bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent review of Gates of Delirium. Scary kids, scary. All right, I got another review up too. In fact, and I've got another one in the can, which we will talk about in just a bit. Because this is a live stream, it also means that there is chat available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So far, Flaming Huron was first out the gate in chat saying hello. So we've got Flaming Huron, a great day. Philadelphia Piper is joining us, as well as Melwidius from York. And I know Melwidius was curious about the smartphone I had picked up. So far, so good. I know Melwidius was like, hey, let us know what's going on with that OnePlus 7 Pro you got. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a very cool phone. All right, so I got a good dose of news tonight. There are a couple of serious items that I do want to mention before we jump in. First off, tomorrow is Election Day here in the United States. I know many of my regulars, the people who hang out and chat, who live in the U.S. have already voted. If you are registered to vote and you have not done so, please vote. Come on. I know a lot of people out there think, well, my vote doesn't count. You know who wants you to think your vote doesn't count? The people whose votes are going to count. So take that. Take your civic responsibility. Go out there and vote. I know I will be. I'll be voting tomorrow. It was kind of funny. My sister-in-law kind of gave me a hard time for not voting early. And I said, I always vote on Election Day. I like going out to the poll. Yes, I know it's a pandemic, but I like going out to the poll. And poll. I think it's just poll. And she said, well, what if something happened? What if you were in the hospital? I said, if I'm in the hospital, the least of my worries is going and voting. If I'm in the hospital. Yes, so please vote. Second item. I keep talking about this never-ending pandemic. I don't know if anybody out there is going to remember this, but in the spring, I talked a little bit about the pandemic on the show. I mean, it's impossible to get away from it, right? And I said, you know what? We got to be really careful, because when the fall hits, it's going to be bad. And the reason why is because for years I have read up about the the influenza pandemic of 1918. So I'm familiar with what happened, and that's a lot of times how these things work. Sure enough. So please take this seriously. If not for yourself, do it for your friends, your family, for your neighbors, because it's not that difficult to come down with it and pass it on to a bunch of other people who you really would never have wanted to expose to it. So, all right, anyway. So Philadelphia Piper says, I will vote tomorrow morning. So will I. I will be voting in the morning. I usually go about 10 o'clock is when I usually go in. All right, so for some strange reason, it looks like we are dropping a bunch of frames tonight. Huh. All right. Looks like we dropped about 10% of them. You know, it's kind of funny. We've had like no problems recently. Usually, if we get we'll get like a hiccup like right in the opening minute of the stream. And then after that, we've been perfect. So I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. And I will double check. Because the one night when this popped up, it was because stupid me had the stream open in a browser window on Firefox. So I was trying to stream, trying to upload and download it at the same time. So, Grade A says, if you read up on the 1917 pandemic, actually it's 1918, you can read all about the anti-maskers then too. Yes, you can. You certainly can. And Melwinius points out they just ordered Napoleon Returns 1815 because of the review. Cool deal. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's a very, very good game. Impossible to play at solitaire. There's just no way to play that solitaire. So it's important. I mentioned that in the review. It's important for people to know that. All right. So anyway, we're talking seriously. Let's kind of kick back, relax. Do want to mention there is going to be an episode tomorrow night. So if some of you are, suffering from that election anxiety and want to skip some of the early polls closing, I will be streaming at the usual time with episode 566. So the Madman's showing up in chat. Good to see you, the Madman. We got a cool Savage Worlds news piece that the Madman might be interested in. So let's jump on into the news, because arriving on the 25th from Academy Games is One Small Step. Here's the dope. Lead the United States or Soviet Union Space Agency in this engine-building worker placement race for the moon Eurogame. Play on a team of 1 or 2 players, where each player on a team controls either the engineer workers or the administrator workers for their team. Coordinate your actions with your teammate on each of your turns to either place an engineer or administrator worker on board actions to gather the game's 9 different resources. Draft development cards, increase your media coverage, recruit astronauts, upgrade resources, develop your spaceflight capability, or spend resources to launch humanity's first unmanned and manned missions into space. Which type of worker you place changes the effect that a board action has. Each board action can only be used once per round. So placing a worker does not only prevent your opponents from using the action, but prevents your teammate from using the action's alternative effect with their workers. Gain the advantage in the media to place your worker first in a round, or gain a media bonus for special one-time abilities and bonus resources. Score victory points by building cards you drafted or by successfully launching missions into space. Every successful launch, you have upgrades of one of the board actions, not only for your team, but also your opponents. Successfully launch enough manned missions to achieve the first manned moon landing before your rivals, gaining you bonus victory points and ending the game. The team who has the most victory points at the end of the game contributed the most to one of humanity's greatest achievements and wins. One Small Step provides a fun learning experience about the space race that makes it perfect for a U.S. history curriculum in the classroom and homeschool. Homeschool? Classroom? Get out of here. Get out of here with that. We want entertainment. Entertain me. I remember when this kick started, I shared a news piece. I got an opportunity to take a peek at this back at the last Gen Con, so about a year and a half ago, and it did look kind of interesting. It does look very Euro style, but it does look very interesting. But here's the thing that kind of throws me off. So this was to mark the 50th anniversary of the landing on the moon. Why didn't they kickstart this earlier? Because the 50th anniversary was last year. I don't understand it. Just like we see, prime example, who is it? Gray Fox Games has a Kickstarter right now for kind of like an election game. And I guess it's a game that was out already, and it's coming out with it like a new expansion, new print run. And it's sort of like, why would you kickstart it now when the presidential election will be long over? Hopefully we'll know who the president is by the time it would come out, like next summer or next winter. It's like, sometimes I'm kind of curious where the planning stages are in some of these companies' brains, right? So we're like, okay, so if I want to do an election game, I would probably try to do it so that game came out maybe 6 months before the election. I don't know, it's just me. Anyway, regardless, this is from Academy Games. We know Academy Games does some good stuff out there. So by all means, check this out. One Small Step is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Plays it around 1 to 2 hours. I'll have something to say about that in a second. And we'll carry an MSRP of $70 when it arrives on November 25th. There is also an expansion, I think it's called Hidden Heroes, that does kind of share some of the historical figures who worked at NASA, and I believe who also worked behind the Iron Curtain as well. And then there's another like expansion that has all these like primo components to it. So something like that is about, I think altogether, I think it's like 135, 150, something like that. So I just wanted to bring you the base game to take a peek at. So, okay, so it's for ages 10 and up. Once again, I'm not picking on Academy Games. I'm just curious about this. And it says the game plays in 1 to 2 hours. How many 10-year-olds out there have an attention span where they can play a board game for 2 hours? So it kind of throws me off sometimes when I see some of these age ranges. It's like, okay, well, it's for ages 8 and up, plays in 2 to 3 hours. It's like, really? What 8-year-old's going to sit there for 3 hours? So Flaming Heron says that he'll need the stream to get away from it all tomorrow night. Yes, and the Madman says he's already stressed by it. I think we're all. I just was watching NBC News and they were talking about this election stress disorder. I don't think I have that. I am concerned. I am worried. But I'm not like, that'll be Wednesday. Ibram's here joining us in chat. Good to see you, Ibram. All right, moving right along. An unusual looking Vampire the Masquerade board game is arriving in December from Everything Epic. I've got the dope on Blood Feud. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Feud is a highly thematic, team-based strategic game that plays 4 to 32 players and is run by 1 to 2 storytellers who also interact and play. You may play as one of the warring vampire clans such as Ventru, Tremere, Gangrel, or Toreador. Or perhaps you'll choose to become one of the human factions fighting for their own desires, such as City Hall, the Mafia, or the Arcanum, with many more from which to choose. Additionally, the game integrates the story world of Vampire the Masquerade by adding storyteller scenarios that add an optional narrative approach to the game. Players also gain disciplines, which give them powerful supernatural abilities unique to their character. Lastly, teams will choose their ambitions, which allow for multiple paths to victory, such as being bloodthirsty, manipulative, greedy, or somewhere in between. Blood Feud is dubbed a mega board game because, unlike a traditional board game, it isn't played at a single table. Blood Feud requires a large room or 2 separate rooms with 2 to 4 tables. One game table features the cityscape and orders, the map where players move their forces around the city and order them to fight and take control of important territories. The other game table features the council and market, where players use their best diplomatic and resource management skills to make sly trades, buy upgrades and player level ups, and make large political decisions that will shape the destinies of teams to determine whether they win or lose. In order to win the game, teams earn victory points through the completion of legacies, which are secret objectives that can consist of all sorts of tasks and achievements earned through gameplay. Vampire the Masquerade Blood Feud is once again for 4 to 32 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 2 to 3 hours, and will carry an MSRP of, wait for it, $149.99 when it lands in December. Zoinks! Okay, so I am sharing basically the images that are available for this game. So we do have some artwork, and we've got 3 images of what looks to be like the gaming materials. Can someone out there explain to me why this isn't a LARP? Because this seems like this is a LARP. 4 to 32 players. You need 2 rooms. I don't know. I gotta be honest, I have no idea. So I gotta be honest. I don't know. Flaming Heron's like, seems totally reasonable. Should be $200, right? I don't know. I just thought, I know people really like Vampire the Masquerade. This is something weird and different. I don't know. I just $150 board game that you need multiple rooms to play in. I don't know. So Philadelphia Piper says, Madman should take up pipe smoking. It relieves all stress. And the Madman saying that he sits with a bourbon to prepare for game nights. It helps. All right. And I guess the Madman has great memories of his uncle smoking a pipe. Yeah, I had some relatives that smoked pipes, and I always remember that really nice, pleasant, carcinogenic smoke. All right, on to our next piece. Because Darkgate Games has returned Neomorphosis Infestation to Kickstarter. Here's the dope. It's $21.59, and you're living on an Earth frozen by man-made ice age. You are a member of the 4-man resupply crew arriving for your first day on the job at the World Exit Research Station. What I mean, are we exiting the world? You'll be joining one of the many research projects taking humanity to the stars. Well, I guess you are exiting the world. You're going to save the world, but not the way you expected to. Neomorphosis Infestation is a sci-fi, fast-paced, fully cooperative survival game for 1 to 4 players. In this game, you and your colleagues must preserve the integrity of the research station from the alien creatures that overrun it while completing scenario objectives. In campaign mode, you play through several connected scenarios while attempting to reach the truck located at the other side of the research station and escape from the creatures that infested it. The research station, not infesting the truck, obviously enough. There is a Kickstarter video for this. It runs over 4 minutes. It is, once again, one of the longer Kickstarter videos we've seen. We had one about this link last week, but usually they're much shorter than this. But it's actually a pretty cool video, so let's kick back and give it a peek.
Hey crew, we're almost there. Try contacting them on the radio again.
Base, do you read? Can someone respond? Damn. 3 hours of radio silence. Something is definitely wrong.
Yuri, relax. We'll see what happens once we get there. There's no goddamn reason to worry now.
No, Robert. There are plenty of reasons. Something is definitely wrong.
Okay, now I hope you won't regret not having guns.
Okay, fellas, we're closing in. Start gathering your stuff.
Well, at least outside it looks fine. Let's move in.
Who the hell forgot to close the frickin' blast door?
Yeah, that's definitely wrong.
Look, the terminal is glowing.
Let's try to find out what happened. Let me into this system. This looks very strange.
Hey, fellas, what the hell is outside? I hear something, but I can't.
Yuri, close that damn door. Now!
Oh no, Madre Santissima!
Everyone, grab whatever you can. Let's try to stop what's coming.
Neomorphosis Infestation is a fast and furious cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. The main goal of the game is to keep the integrity of the research facility that protects you from the freezing temperatures of a man-made ice age. While you attempt to reach your way out of the research station, you need to face a vicious breed of aliens that have infested the facility. Their instinct is to get out of the station, and their fangs, claws, and tentacles are strong enough to damage the base and everything that stands in their way, including you. In their rampage, aliens may destroy parts of the facility, doors, and more importantly, terminals. That's a problem, because you need active terminals to use all their functions. Every time an alien attack against the facility is successful, an emergency card is placed on the SIP and the respective function is disabled. The emergency level increases each new round to track the status of the emergency, and you have to resolve it by using your skills and every useful item you can find. If you are not fast enough, the damage becomes critical and the sector is compromised beyond repair. Aliens are everywhere. You must be ready to kill them fast, because they continue to evolve, getting new skills and forms, becoming more dangerous. Fortunately, your higher education gives you unique insights into these vicious aliens. Each crew member has a unique xenobiology insight that can help them during combat. At the beginning of each round, crew members may strategically combine their understanding of the alien biology to face the most pressing alien threat. Craft useful weapons and survival kits. Create your unique combo by stacking one object onto the other. Keep your nerves and think about how to save your skin and get out of the research station in Neomorphosis Infestation.
Neomorphosis Infestation is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in about 1 to 2 hours. This project is over 400% funded. You can reserve a copy of the game as well as unlock stretch goals for a $90 pledge through November 19th. Expected delivery is December of next year. Sweet. So this was up on Kickstarter previously, and I did share a news piece for it. And I got to be honest, I don't know if they successfully funded and then pulled the plug, or if they came up short or something. But one thing I do see here is that the art style is different. The art style was much more cartoonish, just really exaggerated art style. And now the art style is a little more realistic looking. So, and once again, this is already, I think it's closer to about 500% funding, because I actually put this story together yesterday. So, looks kind of cool. Although I will admit, I don't think you will see the game next December. Dark Gate Games has a bad habit of running late on their Kickstarters. They do come out, but they do run long as far as fulfilling. There is a Kickstarter that I'm waiting for. Supposedly, they're sending me a review copy of it, and it looks very interesting. It's gosh, now off the top of my head, I can't even think of the game. I know somebody out there is going to be popping on to take a look on the Google. Come on, a grade A. I know you're good at doing this. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of it, but it looks really cool. So, and I do see that Jorge Rodriguez has joined us in chat. He was arrested. Now, he's arrived. It's kind of funny. It's like, I'm like talking and I see that pop up and I'm like, you're arrested? What are you, jumping in chat from the police station? What, from the lockup? All right, let's move on to some role-playing game news, because available in PDF from Atomic Ninja Studios is a new zombie setting for Savage Worlds. I've got the dope on Dead End. The apocalypse has happened. In a flash, the world has changed. The dead walk the streets looking for people to devour. Water stopped running. Power went out. Soon, the whole world was turned upside down. Where were you, survivor? More importantly, what do you do now? Welcome to the world of Dead End, a zombie-themed survival apocalypse setting for Savage Worlds. In a world of Dead End, survival is the key factor that you, as a player or as a game master, will be focused on. A survivor will be forced to scavenge for all of their basic necessities: food, water, shelter, medicine. Everything we take for granted in our daily lives is no longer a guarantee. Formerly open communities are now locked behind makeshift barricades. Armed guards make sure that no undesirables can enter. Bands of raiders seek to take a survivor's supplies for themselves. Hunger and thirst are always on the edge of one's thought. Dwindling stocks of ammo and parts are a constant concern. And of course, there's the ever-present threat of the relentless, shambling dead. Their hungry moans drifting through the silence. I think you'd be more worried about the other human beings, right? They always tend to be the worst part of these zombie apocalypse. It's not the actual zombies. It's the other survivors. With over 150 pages, Dead End will test the survivor in you, with features like new edges and hindrances. These will help you mold your survivor as you see fit. New gritty damage rules. These will keep you on your toes as you do your best to survive. There's a humanity system. This will see just how human you are or care to be. There's the Infestation deck. This brand new card mechanic will not only flavor your experience with its themed stylized suits and numbers, but also will bring more of the unique Dead End feel to your table, as the deck reveals new situational modifiers and events that promise to complicate life for any unwary survivors that force another draw. And it also doubles in an action deck. So there's that. The 187-page Dead End is available in PDF at Drive-Thru RPG for $14.99. Could be kind of interesting. I wish I had more images to share, but this is all I ran across, even after this kick started. So this kick started, but it did not fund. So interestingly enough, this is something that we don't see too often. We don't see, well, with role-playing games, it's a little different. It's a little easier for them to at least come out digitally with a release if they don't get their Kickstarter funding. But the Madman even points out that he was interested in this Kickstarter, but it seemed way too deadly with a single bite. Well, come on, man. It's a zombie. Zombies. Just one bite gets you, man. Come on. At least that's how it should be. I'm still of the Dawn of the Dead flavor of zombies. the Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, and then the other crappy Romero zombie movies he made. Videotaping of the Dead, whatever that one was. George, I still miss you, George, but yeah, some of those last couple of zombie movies were just. So the Madman says Savage World Kickstarter is normally fun pretty quickly. Well, I guess I'm gonna create one then, because I need the dough. So here's a question I have for everybody out there in chat. Do you think the zombie genre is overplayed? Has it run its course in gaming? I don't know. I have no idea. There's a lot of stiff competition out there. No pun intended, right? Stiff competition as far as zombie role-playing games with, I think probably the most popular, I might be wrong, but I think the most popular is All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I don't think it's Outbreak. I certainly don't think it's Outbreak Undead, especially that last edition was, oh gosh, just god-awful mess. All righty, my final news piece. So Philadelphia Piper asks, is it me or is Jeff gone blurry? I'm always blurry. So before we move on, so Grey Day says no, zombies aren't played out. Ibram says yes. Philadelphia, well, I was gonna say Philadelphia Piper says I'm blurry. That's what he said. And Ibram says, yeah, no more vampires. I don't know. It depends on how you present this stuff. There's always new, things you can bring new life to. Look at the comic book, The Walking Dead, right? No one expected that to become real popular. In fact, that's why the first few issues are so valuable, because they had such small print runs. And then, of course, got picked up by AMC, and that was it. So, Flaming Heron says, check your quality. The stream buffered for me for a second, and it dropped my quality. That happened to me the other day, and I was not watching a live stream. I was watching another, just a video, and all of a sudden I was like, what the hell happened to the 1080p here? And then I looked, and I'm like, how come it's not lit up? What's going on here? And then I, just clicked on it again. We were okay. All right, so final news piece. The latest Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Adventure supplement has arrived. It is an Ubersreich adventure from my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. And I've got the dope on Hell Rides to a Halt with 2 L's and a T. Only the damned and the damnable fools ride out on Hexennacht as the turning of the year wakes the very dead, calling them up from unmarked graves and unhallowed resting places. The priests of Moor alone are safe, their lonely vigil, a solitary ward against the restless dead. So which are you to set out so close to Hexennacht, fool, damned soul, or lonesome priest? Lonesome priest seems a little weird. The lonesome priest can just, stay away. Rumor spreads throughout the land that a headless rider is claiming grim trophies. I wonder if he rides with a pumpkin in his hand, eh? Is this indeed merely a rumor? Hell Rides to Halt is an adventure that explores justice, vengeance, and the twisting of old stories and older faiths. On the road to Halt, with Hexennacht perilously close and Morbslieb hanging gibbous in an ominous sky. I love that word gibbous. I really do. That is so Lovecraftian. Actually, Lovecraft used that word quite a few times also. A coach clatters through the night. Inside, a city-soft lawyer scoffs at tales of a headless horseman scouring the lands, taking heads, and leaving widows in his wake. Outside, the heavy beat of galloping hooves draws close. This adventure is suitable for 3 to 5 players on their first or second careers, and is suitable for playing in a single blood-soaked night. It takes place in Halt, an isolated town nestled between the Gray Mountains and the Reichwald, but could take place anywhere in the Empire. This 23-page adventure can be had in PDF over at Drive-Thru RPG for $3.99. Cool. Ibram says, Skaven confirmed. I don't know. I think that might just be a giant rat. I don't think that was a Skaven in it. So here's the oddball thing. I think this just came out yesterday? Day before yesterday? So it came out on Halloween? It's like, what? Could it, come on, guys, should release this 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Oh, Ibram says that's what they all say. But I don't know. It's a Warhammer Fantasy roleplay adventure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be goofy in certain ways. So, this is another one of the Ubersreich adventures. So if you have the subscription, you'll receive that. And I assume they're going to collect them all up in one volume, the 6 adventures, once again. And that's probably a year away. But my review for the first volume is on its way. So you should see that either end of this week or into the beginning of next. There we go. All right. I need to refresh my Diet Cola here. Yes. All right. So that is it for the news tonight. Flaming Heron says that they don't mind more zombie games because they aren't always the same. That's how I kind of look at it too. It's when things are just slapped together that I'm not a big fan of. And we see that all the time. We see a genre get popular, and then all of a sudden these just really lame-ass game releases come out. These just money grabs come popping out. Anyway, speaking of reviews, I've got 2 new reviews. As I mentioned towards the open of the show, I have my review of Gates of Delirium from Renegade Game Studios. That is up as well. Enjoyed it. Did like that. And then I also, earlier today, rolled out my review for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, 60 Feet Under. This is part 2 of the Agents of Edgewatch campaign. It's not terrible. It's not bad, but a little disappointed from the first chapter. I felt it was kind of a letdown from the first chapter. I also will be releasing my review for Static Dawn, which is a kind of rules light cyberpunk game. So I will not give you a clue on what I thought of that. So you'll have to check it out. This review will be up tomorrow. This is the review that's in the can. So we've got that on the horizon. Got a bunch of stuff. Got a bunch of reviews. I am rapidly approaching review number 700. So, and I know people out there would be like, yeah, but Jeff, you're in like year 11 of doing this. Yeah, but still almost, I think I'm like 5 away. I think I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I'm like 5 away from 700 reviews. So, wow, yowza. All right. So I'm sorry. The Madman says that his favorite zombie game is Dead of Winter. You know what? I've never played it. Nope, I have not. I have never played Dead of Winter. I feel bad too, because I would really like to check out Dead of Winter. I've always heard good things. Once again, Plaid Hat's another company that I've never been able to click with. And they were a company that back in the day when Elliot Miller, my best friend, was part of the gaming gang, that was a company he dealt with. So he interviewed them at Gen Con. I didn't, because it got to the point where we were splitting up to do a waste because the two of us together doing interviews were usually pretty funny. We had some pretty funny interviews. All right, so Fleming Heron says that they play a few RPGs where they go with the whole zombie apocalypse setting, and that they actually love zombie computer games. So yes, thank you for the comments about almost 700 reviews. So that's pretty cool. So here's another item. So I got two other items. So Madman said, Dead of Winter is challenging. Lots of ways to lose, but not so hard you can't win. Not one of those ghost stories sort of games, right? Have won about half the time. That's cool. I like games where it's about a 50-50. Even a 40-60 win-loss. When we start getting into the, 1 out of 10 games I win, it's kind of like, you know what? Why am I even wasting my time playing this? Forget it. All right. So I get this box today. And I mean, this box is massive. It's got to be probably the biggest, well, maybe not the biggest, but one of the largest boxes I have ever had delivered to me with gaming stuff in it. I mean, this box, no joke, I'll have to. Okay. So I see it outside the front of the door today, and I'm thinking, man, how heavy must that box be? Like, all right, well, I better be careful when I pick that up. Yeah, bend the knees, pick it up. I'm like, what? So it was from my pals over at Flying Pig Games and contained, now remember, I'm not kidding. It contained this. More space was occupied by like thankfully it wasn't shipping popcorn, but those almost like inflatable. It's not like the little poppers, right? That you would see, but they're like big, almost like inflatable tubes of plastic that you see a lot now. And I just started laughing my ass off. It's like, what? So, fine folks over at Flying Pig Games have sent along the latest expansion to Old School Tactical. Yes, it's Phantom Division. Is this volume 2? I think this is for volume 2. Does not say. It just says OST Pockets. Oh no, maybe this is this isn't a standalone game. Can't be. It's Old School Tactical. That I can tell you. Maybe it's a standalone, but I don't think so. I think this is an expansion to volume 2. So I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, I did share this news last week. La Resistance is out. It is out. So I was sent the copy of La Resistance, a set of special dice that have they've got it like the German cross and the French cross on it. So we've got these. Couple of looks like some promo packs of cards for them as well. So these are some additional cards for the game. And I thought this was pretty wild. A playmat for the game. And that is a pretty big playmat. It's not very cool. I thought, wow, that's pretty nice. So here's the thing. I effectively reviewed La Resistance for the Kickstarter. So in fact, what I may do is, because I I can't remember if I gave it a numeric score or not, because I normally don't give Kickstarters a review score like I do a regular review. But for some strange reason, I think I may have for La Resistance because it was so complete when I got it. So I'm considering maybe doing a contest for all these La Resistance goodies. I will have to decide on that. So hopefully that's something people would be interested in. If you are interested in me doing a contest for that, by all means, let me know in the comments. So anyway, if you're not familiar with what the game is, take a peek at my Kickstarter preview. I cover all the bases of it. All right, so final thing is I think I am not going to be able to do something for the Extra Life charity event this weekend. I haven't got anybody really on board. I know Elliot, he'd do it. He's part of it, but as far as my high school friends, when I originally floated it out, people were like, yeah, I'm interested. Scott Weigel, who usually watches the show, he had mentioned he was still on board, but that's it. I haven't heard anything back from anyone else. So I don't know. So what I am kind of bouncing around is maybe doing a live auction. Because remember, I was talking about maybe doing an auction for some stuff that I'd like to find good homes for, and maybe donate like half of the proceeds to Extra Life. I don't think it would be this weekend though, but maybe sometime, maybe before Black Friday, although Black Friday doesn't really exist this year, does it? So just floating that out there, something to keep in mind. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. All right. So that is it for tonight's show. As I always like to point out, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube Monday through Thursday nights, it'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as my review of 60 Feet Under. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If you live in the U.S. and you are registered to vote and you have not voted, vote tomorrow. Do your civic duty. Of course, if you were watching live and hanging out with me, thank you so much. I always appreciate people just, keeping me company while I'm blabbing on into the ether. It's always appreciated. And of course, I know there's a lot of folks out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live, but you watch after the fact. Maybe you're even watching on Memorex. I really, really appreciate that as well. In fact, basically just thanks everybody for watching. Thanks, Easter Bunny. Bok, bok. All right, so I will be back tomorrow. So if you want to join me to blow off a little election night steam before all the West Coast polls close, be sure to join me. And of course, everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. And as I wrap up all my videos during the never-ending pandemic, here's hoping all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.